Welcome to episode 97 of Gimme Dad 101, the show where gamers became dads and are looking for cheat codes. If you're brand new to the show, Gimme Dad 101 goes live each and every Wednesday as a podcast and then goes live on YouTube as a video on Fridays. Joining me as usual is my co-host, Ricky.
What's going on, everybody?
What is up, Ricky? We have another week. We have another week under our belt. What have you been up to, man? What have you been playing anything interesting? Have you been doing anything? Has anything been rattling up in your head?
Have I played something? I mean, I got to play Everspace.
Ooh, how'd you like it? I bought that game and I've yet to check it out.
Really?
I saw the trailer for it. I thought it was awesome. I read an article about it somewhere and it sounded interesting, so I ended up getting it, but I've yet to play it.
Okay. You're expected to die. And yeah, you're truly expected to die in the game. It's a roguelike style gameplay, so basically the more you go through your missions, the more you save up a little bit of money, the more you can upgrade your items, and then that's basically the way that you'll be able to progress even further and further and further into the game.
Sweet.
Basically your character starts off like you technically lost your memory, so you're trying to figure out what the hell is going on. You're technically I haven't finished the first mission because I keep dying. I've gotten to, there's multiple sectors that you have to get to.
So I gotta ask, how many times have you died?
About 4 or 5 times.
Okay, that's not too bad.
No, but
you made it sound like it was like a lot.
I mean, I also played for about an hour and a half. Okay. So within an hour and a half to 2 hours, I died about 4 or 5 times. The gameplay is pretty cool. You're just basically flying in space. You have other ships that you have to battle. There's other ships also within space that you can go and land inside of, so that way you can upgrade your ship that you have. You can trade your goods to upgrade your ship as well. You can refuel your ship. Or if you don't want to go through all that stuff and pay to refuel, there's some meteors in space that you can actually blow up, and you can actually refuel your energy of your ship.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
So it's a pretty cool concept. But yeah, I actually do recommend it, believe it or not.
Sweet, I'm gonna have to check it out then.
Yeah.
I finished Link's Awakening. We talked about that last week.
Yep.
And I've been looking for another game to play. And I was very hung up on, I want to play it on the Switch. Just because it's a lot easier for me to play on my Switch. I come downstairs, the TV's taken by the kids, I can grab my Switch, and I can play whatever the hell I want. You know what I mean? So it's become my primary console. And I didn't know what I wanted to play. I didn't know what I wanted to play. Out of curiosity, I went ahead and signed up for PS Now. I think I mentioned that last week as well, that I was gonna check it out. So I ended up going through, and I'm actually now playing Gravity Rush. So nice. I've always wanted to play Gravity Rush. Never wanted to buy it at full price because it sounded like my type of game, but it sounded like something that I didn't necessarily want to invest too much in just in case. So the fact that it was on PS Now was awesome. So I got to play it. I'm still playing it. I think I want to say I'm roughly 6 hours in, so I'm not too deep into it yet. I basically just started this weekend, but I'm enjoying the hell out of it, dude. To be honest with you, like just traversing the world. So you're this girl that controls gravity, and you can shift gravity in whatever direction you want it to, and you can literally like toss yourself in wherever you want to go. Okay. So you can be in midair, and you can change the direction of the gravitational pull to whatever, so that you can fall toward that direction, and that's how you traverse the entire area. You can run around you can run regularly, or you can like fly across by throwing yourself everywhere.
Nice.
So far it's awesome. I'm enjoying the gameplay. I mean, battling, like the battle mechanics behind it are a little confusing, only because at first you're trying to kind of place yourself in 3D space because of the way that the combat is. You are in midair, you are flying, you are tossing yourself, you are doing kicks. Technically speaking, the further you are from these enemies, the harder you hit. So it's one of those scenarios where I had to kind of get used to it at first. I kept losing my enemies. Like I would somehow like go that way, and then the enemy would be behind me. It's like, wait a minute, where'd you go? Hold on. All right, got it. So then now I'm actually, proficient at it. But at first it was kind of like, okay, what's going on? Because where's up, where's down, where's left, where's right? It takes a little bit of getting used to.
Okay.
It's been a lot of fun, man.
That's what's up.
So I've been enjoying that. So, all right, man. Anything else? Anything else, Ricky? Go on.
No.
Share it. Be proud.
Oh no.
Be proud.
When I was talking to you earlier, it's actually one of the games that are coming out. So,
all right. What's up?
yeah.
Talk about that in a second. All right, then. Well, let's go ahead and get on to that segment then, Ricky. Go ahead and tell us the reasons why we're broke so I can hear the snooze.
All right, so the reasons why we're broke this week is we have Moons of Madness coming out for the PS4, Xbox One, and PC on October the 22nd. We had The Legends of Heroes, Trials of Cold Steel 3. Coming out for the PlayStation 4 on October the 22nd. We had WWE 2K20 coming out on the 22nd. We have Lonely Mountains Downhill coming out for the PS4, Xbox One, Switch, PC, Mac, and Linux on October the 23rd. We had Cat Quest 2 coming out for the Switch.
Is that the one that you're excited about? You're excited about Cat Quest?
Let me tell you, man. I got my hands on that, And I got that meow. I got that meow itch.
Meow, 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 meow.
Oh, God. I'm glad I said cat and not the other word, but yeah.
Go on. What's next, Ricky?
I got Call of Duty Modern Warfare coming out for the PS4, Xbox One, and PC October the 25th. We have Medieval coming out for the PS4 on October the 25th, and then the shame that I'm about to admit.
Why is this a shame?
Because I ended up getting 2 copies, and both pre-order copies are already downloaded. One for the PC and one for the Xbox.
Did you pay for it twice?
No. Yes. Maybe. Okay. So
you really like this game, huh?
Well, it hasn't come out yet, so we'll see. It's basically.
No, but isn't this part of a series?
No, this is from the creators of Fallout. One of the directors from Fallout. Outer Worlds, coming out for the PS4, Xbox One, and PC on October the 25th, which is Friday. So when I mean that I pay for it, and I really didn't really pay for it, luckily Xbox Game Pass is actually launching it on release date.
Really?
Yes. Yeah. Again, if you love, like the original Fallout games, not the 76, then
everybody keeps shitting on 76. Like, damn.
Well, let's just say hopefully this one tickles my pickle like 76 didn't do.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. It's almost the same freaking concept. The world goes to shit. You go to the end of the universe. You have the civilization, and you're basically, from one of the trailers, I am not 100% sure if you can basically choose to be a good guy or a villain. That's the part that kind of has me intrigued. The gameplay and game art and kind of the way that I'm understanding the game in general, how it's going to be, it's basically going to be a clone of Fallout, hopefully better, without the bugs. So I'm excited about that. Reason why I got it on the Xbox is because I want to play it on that system primarily. But the reason why I got it on the PC as well and got it pre-downloaded is because I can only imagine what kind of mods they're gonna do, and I want to.
And you had to get it on the mods.
And I want to do all the mods and everything on the PC. So, yeah.
Are there not gonna be any mods for Xbox? Because well, I guess not.
Honestly, the Xbox Fallout does have mods for both the PlayStation and the Xbox.
And that's kind of why I was like, why wouldn't there be that opportunity for mods on the console? Now, Granted, mods on the console are never as good as mods on the PC.
Correct.
But you know what I mean?
The difference is this is not by Bethesda. Bethesda does have a mod community. I don't think this company has a mod community as much, so we'll see exactly what they do, but this game will have basically the capabilities of modding. So I mean, they haven't confirmed it, but I can only assume people are going to mod the shit out of this game. So I'm actually excited for that portion.
Fair enough. All right. Well, congratulations. Hope you enjoy on both. I may be signing up for Xbox Games Pass again just because now I'm curious. Yeah. Let's. I'm gonna go ahead and transition to this, and I wanna transition to the next segment, but I did want to apologize because we, excuse me, we did forget to air this. I think it was last week when I was originally going to, but I didn't get a chance to. So I'm going to go ahead and air it now, and honestly, it's because I could have sworn, and I thought that this was me. I thought it was on my end. I thought I lost it because I was looking for the video component. I forgot that I just received audio for this. So for the first time in a bit, because it has been a bit since Borderlands 3 review, we have a Gamer on the Street review from James Kindlesberger. He sent this one for Resident Evil 2. He didn't clarify for what system on the message, but let's go ahead and listen to that one. I'm going to play it off my phone because it'll make it easier. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get it off my phone, but here we go. Let's see.
Resident Evil 2 remake for the PS4 that launched on January 25th, 2019. For those who are considering picking up this game, don't make the same mistake I did. Adult diapers are on aisle 4, bro. You'll need them for the amount of times you're going to shit your pants. This game is hands down the scariest title I've ever played. And I've played Evil Within, Dead Space, Left 4 Dead, and once I've even bravely stood up to my wife before she promptly put me back in my place. That goes down as a half win in my book. Seriously though, dads, this is a game that must be played with the lights on in the daytime, and if you're able, try to plan on not sleeping well over the next 3 to 5 days. I literally needed a 4.5-month break from this game because the terror got so intense. No joke. This game is not just about zombies. The action really pumps up about halfway through when you run into an unkillable that stalks you from room to room in a zombie-infested police hall. You will fight zombie dogs, plant zombies, a zombie type called a licker that is 3 times as fast as you and picks you off from sound alone. Good luck running from that unkillable from room to room when a licker is waiting for you around the corner, able to hear your footsteps. Anyways, the action is intense, to say the least, and the story is completely solid. You can play as either Claire Redfield or Leon Kennedy. The stories for both Claire and Leon are similar, but I played as Leon. The puzzles they installed throughout the game were cleverly crafted, and I can't tell you how many jaw-dropping cutscenes were in this remake. It was just a thing of beauty. As difficult as this game could be, the reward for progressing through each level of the game was much more satisfying. And to be completely clear, this game is not for the faint of heart. For the genre, I would score it a 9 out of 10. I shaved off 1 point because I believe the stress caused from this game has shaved off a year off my life. And so until next time, this is my Gamer on the Street review. Thanks, fellow dads.
All right,
Nice.
James. Thank you very much for that. And again, I apologize that we didn't play it on an earlier episode because he did send this to me a bit ago, but things have been insanely crazy. And to be honest with you, this was the first time that we finally got to play it. So either way, James, thank you very much for that review. Dude, let's go ahead. I know, right? Like, that was a pretty killer review, man. I like that.
Dude.
We need to get him on one day. We need to invite him to come on. Have an episode where we have him and Garrett come on.
Yep. I mean, changes are about to happen, so yes.
Don't be spoiling surprises, man. Don't. Shh.
My background's changing.
Again, don't be spoiling surprises, Ricky. Shh.
Don't even want to be green screen.
Oh, man. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the news for this week. Now, this week, there weren't that many, huge news, per se.
No.
But we did get some pretty interesting things, I think.
No, yeah. For the most part, the news this week that I noticed, it was more of the same from last week. But yeah.
Because there was a lot of information that came out last week. Last week was good news week.
Yes, it was. Today's like leftover news.
The stuff that were like, oh, did you hear that thing? I was like, oh, that happened last week? Oh, yeah, I guess. Whatever. So, first on the docket, Riot Games confirmed that they do have a fighting game in the works. God dang it! Set in the League of Legends universe. I can't even read my own words. And the worst part is that they're typed. They're not even handwritten. The name of the project is codenamed Project L. And a spokesperson for Riot said that they revealed it, but, quote, we're going to go dark for a while after this, so please don't expect anything soon. So I think that this was done out of the peer pressure of people and the rumors and everything that was going on about a month ago. I think that is pretty interesting. I'm not very well versed in the League of Legends universe. I know a lot of people that are heavily addicted to the League of Legends universe. Mm-hmm. I've played other games of similar nature. But what do you think? A fighting game in that universe? I'm not going to lie. I've always been interested, but I've never liked that sort of gameplay, which is why I've never gotten into that game. But on a fighting style, like if you do an actual fighting game, those characters are pretty freaking awesome, and that I'm interested to see.
I mean, for the most part, I think they do have pretty cool characters. I haven't played the game myself, so don't ask me, which one's your favorite character. Just the concept and the artwork.
So which one's your favorite character?
I know, right? The one that looks like a monster.
I'm like, oh wow. That's just me.
But yeah, no.
Don't judge people on looks, Ricky.
Hey. Jesus. If Monster's what I'm going for, that's Monster's what I'm getting. No, but I think it'll be pretty cool. I mean, it really depends what kind of fighting game are we talking about? Are we talking about like a Life or Dead or a Tekken fighting style? Are we talking about a 3D map style? Are we talking about like the...
That's what I would assume. I would assume it has to be somewhere in the vein of like a Mortal Kombat type fighting game. You know what I mean? Like it has to be like your traditional fighting game. Like I don't think it'd be a brawler. I think at that point they would just call it a brawler. You know what I mean? Like, and even then, I don't think the characters would lend themselves very...
But brawler, at the end of the day, brawler is still a fighting game genre.
I guess. I mean, the speculation right now, and this is back. We got this off an article for PC Gamer. This article, and let me go ahead and give credit by Sean Prescott. He did mention too that Riot had acquired the fighting game studio Radiant Entertainment in 2016, and they were working on a free-to-play fighting game that ended up being closed shortly after Riot purchased it. So I'm wondering if they reskinned that game, and that's maybe where this is coming from, because it does sound odd to kind of shift genres that way.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you have a studio that can pull it off and you had something there and you just needed the IP, why not? I mean, that's to be honest with you, if something was in development and they had something there and all they had to do, excuse me, was flesh it out some, that's a smart business investment in my opinion, because at this point you're just converting assets and just using something that's more familiar to people that's going to be more recognizable to get your name out there. So I'll be interested to check it out.
Yeah, I mean, I'll keep an eye out for it and see how it actually looks and how it is. But I mean, it's a fighting game. I'm not a big fighting game person because I really suck at them. So
fair enough. But I mean, you won't be disappointed either. So that's good news.
Nah, I guess.
You know.
More of a
you won't be disappointed, Ricky. No. Not as disappointed as I am with the fact that on the next story, Google Stadia is not going to support connection over data mobile connection at launch. I'm slightly disappointed, but to be honest with you, I'm not surprised. It's you got to think of it.
Well,
like Google. I mean, we've all been criticizing Google. Let's face it. A lot since they announced it. Everybody's been like, "Oh, what are they going to do?" Everybody's been criticizing them. Oh, they're probably going to drop this project. So they're only launching it. Basically, you can play it on a mobile device, but you have to be connected over Wi-Fi, or you have to be connected via Ethernet cable in order for you to use the Google Stadia. So you're going to have to be able to do one or the other. So you can play. You're still going to be able to do your laptop, your phone, all of that from home, at least for what it sounds like, but definitely over those connections. And I think that the reason they're doing that is to make sure you have the best experience at launch. But even then, this is still kind of a beta.
even then, still, they weren't gonna launch it to all phones. The only phone that was gonna be compatible for Stadia was only gonna be the Pixel 2 or up. So it was only the Pixel brand at the moment, which is a Google phone, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it is
So
because that's the easiest one to have at launch. It's their own
yeah,
phone line, so easier to make it compatible.
yeah. So even then, we weren't gonna be able to try it out on mobile for iOS or Android. So I wasn't.
But
I'm not.
Ricky, I
I'm not
bought the
too sure.
founders pack, and I wanted to do it on day one, like it said. They said in the commercial, Ricky.
Well,
They said it.
you'll get your what is it? Your Google Chrome Ultra, because that's really
Yep.
what plays 4K, and you'll have your controller, and that
Yep.
is your founders pack,
And I'll have my name.
that will
First
be
dibs at my name.
there. You go. That will be connected via your internet or Wi-Fi, so you will be able to experience it from day one. So don't be too sad.
Yeah, but you know what they also said, Ricky? You know what they also announced? That the controller's not gonna work wirelessly like at first
Nope.
with other devices.
Nope.
So like, so the big story was, as they mentioned when they announced it,
You're
the
surprised?
controller and the reason, of course not, I'm not surprised. Launch. They're launching a beta. We'll get to it in a second. But to get through the story, the controller is supposed to be this controller that independently connects to the internet so that it has its own connection and minimizes. Oh my God, I blanked out on the word. Latency.
Latency.
Yeah, so it minimizes latency. So that has been the sale from the beginning since they announced the controller. But the fact that you have to connect it at launch obviously has people like kind of like, whoa, well, why? Realistically, it's because it's going to be faster and easier, excuse me, to first get all of this set up for your phone and for your laptop for you to connect via wire. It's going to be a lot faster. It's also going to be more reliable. Again, this is what they showed you is the capability of Stadia as a whole and their vision for Stadia. But again, we are still in beta stages, people. I know that this is like, yeah, I got the founders pack. Oh, and it launches November 19th. It's still a beta. Like yeah.
Yep.
I don't know which other way to put it.
I mean, that's pretty much it. There's not much that they can really do at this point. That was also going back to when we were first talking about this type of news. One of my biggest questions was what kind of technology the actual controller was going to have to be able to connect directly, to all of these different systems, on your phone, on your computer, through the Chromecast. I know for us to a certain extent, it's going to have Bluetooth capability to be able to connect, but
Of course.
what else was it that it was going to have to be able to dedicate it in for all of the different systems to understand that this is a Stadia controller with Stadia technology? That was really what I wanted to find out. They still haven't provided that information. Now you're telling me that, hey, by the way, we're not really truly wireless now
But they're
either.
gonna be, Ricky. I mean, you gotta think of it this way. They have to release drivers. They have to
Of
do the
course.
testing. They have to do all of it. So, I mean, do you honestly, and I guess this is more of an opinion because we either of us aren't going to know until we get there. But do you think that by this time next year we won't already have full wireless capability with that controller?
I hope. They'll have to relaunch a whole. How much you want to bet that they're going to relaunch a whole new controller?
I know that's all part of the original base controller.
I don't
That is,
know.
dude. I'm telling you,
I don't know. We'll see.
dude. At that point, we're looking at lawsuits if that's not the case.
Then, okay. So if that's not the case, how come I cannot have wireless capability at this time? I understand it's a beta service, but the beta service has nothing to do with wireless capability.
Because everything has to do with drivers, and drivers have to do with OSs, and there's way too many OSs out there.
I mean, let me just install the drivers and I'm done with it.
I don't know. I don't think it's as easy as you think.
Oh,
At the same time,
I know
at the
it's
same
not as
time, you
easy
got to
as it
think
is.
about it. At the same time, you got to think about it. You play an MMO, you log in on launch date, You tell me how much of a nightmare that is.
I'm pretty sure.
How many times the Division, one of the biggest pains in the butt for me. Launch day for the original Division, I was in queue literally 45 minutes.
Oh, really?
Just sitting in queue. Don't even know why. Just sitting in freaking queue waiting to try to get in to possibly maybe play the game. 45 minutes. So, and that's on a console where everything is just good to go. Now imagine doing that on a server somewhere else with a controller that needs to also connect to a server somewhere else. And to be honest with you, what the problem that might be, it may not even be that it can't connect. It probably can, but it's just not responsive enough. Remember, they need to lower the latency. They need to work on making sure that when you hit A, it responds to A basically within the blink of an eye. And that's all varying because of varying internet connections. Mm-hmm. The real question isn't going to be, can it connect wirelessly? The real question is going to be, can it connect wirelessly and not have latency? Yeah. That's going to be the real question.
No, yeah. I mean, to a certain extent, wireless, regardless of how good your internet is, you're always going to have some kind of latency, some kind of a small lag, in response when you're doing wirelessly. When it comes to the technology, I know I'm giving it crap. I wouldn't honestly.
You're not giving it crap. You're being honest.
No, yeah, I'm being honest. I also wouldn't be surprised if they already have the technology in the controller and they turn it on at a later state, by a software update.
That's what I'm thinking.
Because that's basically the same thing that happened to the iPhone. Currently the new iPhones have a technology for me to be able to charge your phone on it, but that feature is currently not turned on, and they may turn it on later in the future with a software update. So companies have that capability of putting tech, is really what I'm trying to get to, and turning it on later in the future once they get whatever bugs that they're trying to solve in the back end, before they actually introduce it to everybody. But it still kind of sucks that I won't be able to actually have that feature at launch, especially after that's one of the big features you were kind of trying to shove down people's throat.
That's my thing. My thing is this. I personally can understand it, but I expected it because it's a new service. Mm-hmm. Google's new to the game. It's this whole new way of gaming, which is why I wanted to try it in the first place, because of this is the next wave of gaming. This is what's going to happen next. So wanted to be a part of that from the get-go. I knew it wasn't going to be perfect, but my thing is this. My problem, or what my fear is that when it finally launches, people are going to look at it and it's going to receive negative reviews because it isn't what they're showing. Because essentially, everything so far that has been with Stadia has been like, Stadia is all of this. And then lately, over the last couple of weeks, it's like, it's all of this.
Minus this, and this.
Minus this and this. Maybe this.
And now this
might be affected, but not this. So that's kind of where I'm like, okay, so then my concern is that I believe in the future that Google is presenting. I believe that we're going to get there. Mm-hmm. I don't know how quickly we'll get there, which is why I bought into this, because I'm really curious to see if this is it. But at the end of
wonder. One hit wonder.
But at the end of the day, Ricky made me forget where I was going, and I forgot the entire statement that I was about to make.
Yay!
No, for real. At the end of the day, like, this is, again, brand new. They're new to the game. They're trying to figure this out, so I'm not necessarily surprised. And this is me, like, looking at Google Stadia and saying, all right, in the next year or two, that, what they were selling us at their presentation, that is what they'll finally be able to deliver. But again, I go back to where I started. This is basically a beta. This is literally for everybody who was too impatient to figure out whether this is going to work or not. Yeah. I'm one of those.
Hey,
I'm a Google Stadia founder.
Hey, at least you can probably say in the future, if it doesn't work out, you can be like, hey, I have a Google Stadia, it's worth $500 now because I only have 1 out of 100.
Sadly, it's not that limited. It would have been
No.
cool if there was like, yeah, I got the 125th order. That'd be all. Actually, that'd be pretty sweet. If somebody were to do that, I think that'd be pretty awesome. Like if you grab and you buy your PlayStation, it says this is number blah 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 of blah blah blah. I think that'd be pretty neat.
I will feel disappointed if once I start getting, oh, this is 1 billionth and you're 1 billionth and one.
I wouldn't feel disappointed. I would feel kind of excited at that point. Like if I got a billionth and one, I'd be like, dude, what's up? Now, if you get like 1,972,342, that's kind of like, all right, well, whatever, I guess. You know what I mean? It's just a weird number, but billion and one, that's something, bro. That's like a restart. So let's go ahead and get to the news. The next news article. Now, this is a quote unquote leak, so don't again take it as a grain of salt.
Always.
This was an article posted over on comicbook.com. I'm going to go ahead and read an excerpt from it. The PlayStation 5's price has reportedly leaked a day after its release date, which was reportedly revealed. This time, the leak comes courtesy of a European retailer, or more specifically, a retailer out of Slovakia. According to the retailer Pro Gaming Shop, the PlayStation 5 will cost 500 euros, which translates to roughly $558 US. In other words, if this price point is correct, emphasis on if, it's presumably the PS5 would cost 500 or 550 in the United States, which would be 100 to 150 more than the PS4 cost at launch.
Yep.
As you may remember, the PS4 came in at 400 when it launched in 2013, $100 lower than the Xbox One. Interestingly, the product page says the console will release on December 4th, 2020, which lines up with the aforementioned release date leak. And as you may remember, December 4th is when the PS1 launched back in 1994. That was a very big mouthful that I had to try to get through, and you laughing was not helpful. So what do you think, Ricky? $550 for the PlayStation 5. Is that fair? Do you think that's within what you expected? Because I've already budgeted for it.
I mean, you've budgeted for it because you're a PlayStation fanatic.
Not just because I'm a PlayStation fanatic,
no, you keep it
because I'm gonna need two of them,
Yeah.
and I need to budget for two PlayStations. Right?
Yeah.
That's the problem. It's not just me who likes PlayStation; it's my wife who likes PlayStation.
Add another. Well, hopefully you put $1,000 down. If you put $800 down, you need $200 more, baby.
No. We budgeted $600.
Oh, really?
Yes, we
Oh,
budgeted
wow.
$600.
Oh, nice.
My mentality was, since we got into what I budgeted for it, my mentality was, there's no way in hell that they're ever going to charge more than $600 for a console again after what happened with the PS3. However, the tech that is going to be required to pull off what they're going to need to pull off is going to be somewhat pricey. So a price point of $550 to me sounds weird. I do not think it'll be $550. I still think it's going to be either $500 or $600. But to me, $550 is within the range of what I presumed. So I've basically budgeted $1,200 for my PlayStation 5 orders.
Honestly, I'm gonna compare it to the Xbox One X. It was $499, $500. So I can honestly picture it, having the higher tech, what they're stating, or at least for what the leaks are stating, the type of features it may have. I can see it at $500. $600, that's pushing it. I get that it's almost a PC, but it's not quite a PC quality as of yet. So $600, I can kind of see Xbox coming in and sweeping those customers.
Do you really think so? Because honestly, with what Xbox is trying to pull, I think Xbox is looking at a very similar price point, if not more expensive, to be perfect.
I mean, you better hope both companies come out at almost identical price points, because if we have that gouge again, if you get the $100 gouge between one or the other, that's who's going to be pulling majority of the customer.
It would surprise me if Xbox would do it out of spite for PlayStation after what happened with this last generation.
I would fucking laugh, dude.
I honestly kind of feel that that's what's coming. I wouldn't be surprised if that is what ends up happening.
I mean, But transitioning to the other stuff, I think
But to the release date or
to the other one, I also think that Xbox may be grabbing, at smoke. But hey,
what do you mean?
4K at 120.
Oh, we'll get to that. We'll get to
Yeah.
that. All right, cool. I see what you mean. What about the release date?
Release date? It's not a bad
December 4th,
It's-
2020.
It's not a bad date. If they're gonna
You don't
play
think it's
Amish,
late?
no. If they're playing Amish to the original PlayStation when they came out, that would be pretty cool. Just because they want to basically show customers like, hey, we kind of want to throw it back, to when we first started, when we first brought out our first gaming
Go
console.
back to our roots.
Yeah, because they're gonna try to play that fucking card. They're gonna
If they
play
do
that
December 4th to honor the original PS1, yes, they're gonna 1000% play that card.
Oh yeah, especially since they really didn't have much not actual controversy, but basically all of the not so famous stuff that they really did.
Okay.
Trying to be nice.
Fair enough.
Thinking that they were the best and nothing bad can happen, and basically it kind of backfired on them a little bit. So yeah, I think they're gonna try to. If this is a true date, I wouldn't be surprised because, like I said, they'll use that. Hey, I'm going back to my roots. Sorry guys, I do apologize. Let's just start all over again.
I'm just surprised that they would skip out on being part of Black Friday. It's the biggest consumer holiday. You know what I mean? That's honestly
But it's also
the piece
Christmas.
yes, but when do most people buy their Christmas stuff?
Yeah,
Black
true.
Friday.
Black Friday.
That's the reason why I'm surprised. So don't get me wrong, I can see it happening. And I think that it's a very on the nose thing, but I just for some reason I keep feeling November. I keep feeling like November is like the better spot to release a console because people are gearing for Christmas. People have enough time to put away money for Christmas. Like think of parents. Like you and I have the advantage that we're parents, but we're also gamers, so we are looking for this stuff. What about the parents who are not? What about the people who are even older than us, who are looking for their grandchildren and things of that nature? They have no friggin' clue. They have no idea. You tell them December 4th there's a new PlayStation coming out and that it's $600. Gotta freaking hope not. But you tell them that that's happening and they're not, you know what I mean? Like they're going to look at it, oh, well, Christmas, I don't know if I can scrounge that much money. But you come out in November and you give people time. They're like, well, Christmas is coming. I can probably find a deal on Black Friday. Maybe I can do this and that. You know, it gives people more time to plan is how I feel.
Yeah, but you're also thinking about it in a business mentality. So that's why you're thinking it's like, well, it makes more sense, for a business to launch in November because you have Black Friday and you have a shop peak or a shopper peak during that time frame.
I guess. I just want PlayStation to sell.
And trust me, dude, I completely get it. But, sometimes company don't do what's business sound. Sometimes they just may have to restart and hit the refresh button.
That's a lot of companies we're coming to find out over the past couple of years. It's just, all right, so let's go ahead and move on to the Xbox piece too, because we got some more information on Scarlet, and I'm not surprised. First of all, realistically, with everything that has come out over the last week and a half of PlayStation, do you think Xbox was just going to sit back and not say anything at all?
Hell no.
They were going to have to say something. So, all right, so I'm going to go ahead and read this piece. I took it again from an article over in Express. In another exciting Xbox Scarlet reveal, Microsoft executive Aaron Greenberg told fans to expect fewer compromises when it comes to frame rates. This is thanks to the heavily bolstered CPU that will potentially provide fans, and here's the part where Ricky has something to say about 4K resolution graphics running at 120 frames per second. Quote, but with the next gen, I think you'll see a big upgrade in CPU because we really want to make sure that you don't have any compromises with the frame rates. Yes, we can do 4K, but we can also do 120 frames per second. So I think that type of capability would be something that people don't see today.
Read
So,
between the
Ricky,
lines.
you have a lot to say.
Read between the lines. They said that yes, we can run 4K, and yes, we can also run graphics at 120.
But he never said both at the same time.
Exactly. So the way that they can possibly pull it off would be running 4K at possibly, what is it? It's Xbox. Let's say 30 frames per second at 4K.
It should really be running at like 45 to 60. It's really, everybody's looking for 60 frames at least.
Hopefully 60. But the 120 frames per second, that will have to be at 1080p. I cannot see a console running at 120.
Why not? Why not when the consoles are becoming PCs themselves?
There's not many budget PCs that can run 4K at 120 frames per second. At least not a $600 price point. I'm just saying.
Xbox Scarlet, now $799.
Dude, if they do that, I swear.
Play better on Xbox.
Even at $750, dude, to be able to get 4K at 120 frames per second, I mean, I'm pretty sure that I'm going to get killed by people that are freaking PC fanatics. I mean, again, I have PC, but my rig can run 4K probably like at 25 frames per second.
Yay.
But yeah, no. And I have a fairly decent PC. But yeah, no. At least the way that I'm thinking about it is price range wise.
Yeah, but no.
I don't.
Get yourself out of it.
Pretty much.
Fair enough.
And it's what gets me is the price point, to be honest. I honestly cannot see a $500 to $600 price device running 4K at 120 frames per second. I'm sorry. Not at 4K. I'll give it to you at 1080. I'll 100% give it to you at 1080, but not at 4K.
All right. Well, guess we'll see. Now I'm curious.
Prove me wrong. I
wait.
want them to prove me wrong. I mean, if you can do that at 4K, dude. Honestly, I would say it. At that point, I would say it. Fuck PC, fuck PlayStation, Xbox. You got it down. I mean, you got the secret sauce. You got it to work.
We got a few more months to E3. We'll find out more soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, and wow, that does it for the news for this week. Like I said, it's a short week. We didn't have really much in the news front, but that was it. Those were pretty cool. I mean, again, dude, I'm telling you.
We would like to announce the PlayStation 5. It's now $799.
Yeah, God, man.
Xbox is now $1,200.
I wouldn't be surprised, dude. Oh, God, it'd be terrible. All right, well, let's go ahead and get let's get this show rolling. So now, we do have a parenting cheat code of the week for this week. This week's cheat code was written by Ricky. So, Ricky, what's the cheat code?
Listen to your body.
All right.
One of the reasons why I'm saying it is because I have a very...
This is more of advice for yourself.
Yeah, it pretty much is. I'm just trying to remind myself to listen to my own body because tomorrow, when this episode goes live, I will have an extremely, extremely, extremely busy day with a lot of moving parts. And I know for a fact that I'm probably going to overdo myself to the point where I will probably get easily frustrated, easily stressed, just from being tired. So as a reminder to myself and just for everybody, as a good rule of thumb, try to listen to your body. When it tells you enough is enough, try to listen to it.
Take a break. You're no longer 20. That's what we should have called this one. You're no longer 20.
There you go. That we can always rename it.
Hell no. Listen to your body's way better. It's like, listen to your body. Parentheses. You're no longer 20.
Yeah. But,
all right.
Yeah, that's my cheat code, man.
I wish you luck for that during that time, Ricky.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna text you throughout the day. Listen to your body. Just randomly.
But, yeah, Chris. I'm listening to it right now.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Gaming Data 101. Remember that Gaming Data was live each and every single Wednesday on podcast services everywhere. Remember, for this and other shows, to check us out at geekendcast.com. Go check us out. You can check me out on Twitter at Then. You can find my name under here, my pretty little frame over here. And you can find Ricky's name on Twitter as well. Under his is Picky Gamer Dad, and mine is Visk Zen. You can follow us at we have GeekEnd Cast as our Twitter. Jesus Christ, we don't have a Gaming Dad specific one. But we do have a Gaming Dad specific Facebook group. So go ahead and check that out if you haven't checked that out, and sign up. And then also the last thing, if you have not done so already, please go and provide a rating for the show. The way the rating system works, and it's very, very important, you follow these instructions to the T. You give it 5 stars, and then you tear us a new one in the comments. You tell us, oh my God, I love the show, or oh my God, the show is terrible. But the key is 5 stars. That's how they get through. For some reason, there's a glitch in the system. If you do anything other than 5, we don't see it. That's just what happens. So thank you very much for joining me on this episode, Ricky. I much appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on this episode, and we will see you guys next week.
Luego.